Evening, freaks. I'm here to give the collective a wild card, collective vibe check. Read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we're just diving into the energy and play this week. We're not going to waste any time. I'm back in my element. I think a lot of you are coming back in your element after a time of feeling really knocked out of, your sense of who you are. At the end of the day, I think that you're starting to feel like your old self again. You're starting to feel upbeat after a real long period of just kind of wallowing, moping. That's what I got. This wallowing, mopey energy, comfort eating, maybe hitting the drink. Some of you maybe tuning out, like just smoking too many bong rips, just sort of wanting to disconnect from your experience. Some of you have been just getting lost in virtual reality so much to the extent that you haven't even really been living your life, man. And I feel like you're coming back to life. There was really kind of an interesting download that came in with this particular energy this week. The vibe is really wild. It's sort of like, it gives me like the vibe of live active role playing. Like, I think that life is asking you to like try a character on for size this week. Maybe this is like the version of who you wish you could be, collective, the version of who you think you missed the chance at being. There's something about this, like something about disappointment related to the past, something that eluded you in the past, or maybe ways that you compromised yourself in the past trying to keep other people happy, so you didn't really do what you wanted to do, and as a direct result of that, you ended up in this position where you feel like you're playing a role right now. It's inauthentic. It's not who you really are. It's not what you're really about. You're being challenged to be a little bit of a maverick this week, collective. I feel like the more that you can sort of reinvent yourself, get creative, try a character on for size. Who is the you that would be so empowered and so confident that nothing would hold them back from going after what they wanted, from expressing themselves freely in the world. What would that feel like, to step into the role of that character? Try it out this week. I mean, you can take it as far as you want to, too. I feel like you should treat your whole life like, like you're LARPing this week. Just LARP about, okay? Just engage with life as it's a live active role play. It is. You get to be whatever character you want to be. Switch up the way you're doing your hair, switch up your makeup, switch up the clothes you wear, switch up the kind of lingo you use, like switch up the way you habitually react to people. Like, how does your character react in tough situations? How does your character react when somebody is popping off? How does your character react you know, when there's an opportunity before them? Does your character slink away cowardly? I mean, I don't think so. Who would choose a character that was a coward? There's some peace right now about being brave, but I feel like it's about being brave about who you really want to be in the world. It's about being brave enough to like step into that right now, even if it may sort of like rock the boat, or certain people may not agree with you. For some of you, it's about you really being brave with being who you really are, the truth of who you are, and knowing that that is good enough, and that that's what's cool, that that's actually what people dig. And somehow along the way, you told yourself that, you had to show up in a certain way in order for people to accept you. And actually, it's the opposite. Like, you've been coming off inauthentic. You haven't been true to yourself. People can feel it. People can pick up on it, and it's why you're not aligning with your true path. It's why you're like on this path that just feels like you're playing a role, but it's a role you didn't choose. It's a role others chose for you. It's a role society played out for you. They cast you in your role. You're dutifully towing the line. Bottom of the deck energy. We got this 3 of hearts, coming up in the shadow. It's in reverse. Like, you're thinking of all the opportunities you missed, and you're wallowing over it because you're in a role that you don't want to be in. You know, you're not doing what you authentically want to do. And for a lot of you, it's actually affecting your health. You know, it's affecting your health. These like unfulfilled desires of the heart, these longings of the heart, these things that you're wanting to create, these people you're wanting to connect with, these healings you're wanting to have in some cases with other people are eluding you. They're totally eluding you because you're looking back at what happened back there. You're viewing your situation, you're moving through your life in the way you did back then because you're so fixated on the past that you're totally like missing the boat. You're not showing up for what's going on right now. Right now, it's all going down right now. You know, you think that fulfillment has eluded you with the 10 of hearts showing up in the shadow. And that's what some of you are focusing on. You know, you thought that you chose a certain direction that was going to lead to your fulfillment. And then you found out you done didn't choose right back there. You know, you were acting out of your shadow. You know, when you made this choice, you were acting out of your shadow. When you went back to this thing that had done you dirty, how many times you were acting out of your shadow when once again you said, okay, maybe I can make this a fit. Maybe I can make this my fulfillment, even though you knew damn well it wasn't your fulfillment, all right? This is what's really slowed everything down for you, just to a grinding halt. With the Jack of Diamonds, there is this desire for you to build something, start something, initiate something, you know, take a first action, hoping it'll grow into something, hoping it will grow into the Queen of Diamonds, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. When I bring in the signs, it's any significant placement in the chart, all right? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto. We're throwing Jupiter in there, or even a loaded house. So it really opens up the playing field. Don't get too stuck there. Ultimately, listen, dive into the energy, dive into your own perception, your own read on the energy as I'm bringing these messages in. You'll know how it's speaking to you, flip-flop rolls as you need to. This energy is all fluid, all right? It's not static, it's fluid. So, you know, it's up to you to interpret it, okay? But this is also like maybe wanting to find more fulfillment in your career for some of you. You're wanting to go rogue in your career. You're wanting to buck tradition in your career. You're wanting to go against what your family thinks you should do in your career. You want to do something totally different than what you got your degree in your career. You want to do something that other people think is like irresponsible in some cases. They don't feel like you can really get anywhere with that, but this is your fulfillment. This is your fulfillment. For a lot of you, this has to do with a creative angle in your career. And then there's also this case here where it's about stepping into that Taurus North Node energy collective. It's about stepping into that role of the Emperor, the Empress. Why don't you try that on for size this week? What if you were the Empress right now? What if you were the Emperor right now? I mean, like legit, like what would that look like? Because we're all being asked to move into that North Node of destiny, and currently it's in Taurus. And hey, take the initiative, work with it a little bit, role play a little bit. It's its own kind of magic, you know. You can get more playful with life. What if you took your like biggest pressing problem, you know, your biggest concern, and what if you role played it this week, you know? What if you tried out a different character, you know? What if you tried out a character on for size who is daring, knows what needs to be done, and just gets the damn thing done, you know? So there's this energy in play here about, you know, step into those shoes right now, even if, you know, you're not seeing it on the surface level of your life. It's there. The seed of it is there. It's about you stepping into it energetically right now. It's about you trying the energy on for size. How does it feel when you try this energy on for size? I think a lot of you are finding, even in your current situations, try the energy really on for size. Even when you think you're heading in a direction that you're like, yeah, this is right for me. Well, step into the role of that, role play that, how does it feel to be in this current situation you're in? Can you spin it to make it a situation befitting an empress or an emperor? And you'll know right away if it ain't a match and what you need to do in this situation. A lot of you are going to go rogue because you're tired of staying put. You're tired of things taking so long to get you where you want to go. But what you can't see is things are just about to speed up. With the 8 of clubs, I see there's some kind of news coming in that changes your ideas about what's possible for you. It has you rethinking your role. It has you imagining yourself in a new role. There's just like a dandelion seed head is just floating by on the breeze there. So I think there's some wish that you made a long time ago. It took some time. You never thought that this wish would reach fulfillment. There's some little hope that comes through. There's another one, another dandelion seed, and there's some kind of hope that comes through this week that makes you think differently. You think, I never even saw myself really being able to step into this. And that's a big key right there, Maybe that's what's held things up. You never saw yourself as being ready to step into this. And yet here's the opportunity. It's there. It's in front of you. There's an opportunity for you to step into this. What are you going to do? Are you going to step into it? Or are you going to let it float on by? Some of you will let it float on by. Some of you will discover that what you thought you wanted isn't what you wanted. You actually want another opportunity. Some of you are having missed opportunities coming around the bend. Some of you realize the way that what you've been focusing on has been stealing time from you, investing in what you really want to do, stealing time from time you could be spending with who you really want to spend your time with, who you really want to drop in with, stealing time from the kind of work you want to be doing, and who you want to be in your life, where you want to go, the experiences you want to have. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're wanting to reclaim an opportunity that is the direct result of, you walking away from it. You didn't take action in a certain situation with the Ace of Clubs in reverse coming up in the light. You're realizing that by you not taking action, inaction is a choice. Inaction is making a judgment call. Inaction is what has kept you stuck from having this growth that you've wanted to see with the 7 of diamonds coming up in the light there, okay? It's also what's kept you in this place of total, utter conflict, okay? Total, utter conflict. And with the 5 of clubs coming up in reverse, also not being willing to just drop it, wanting to fuel conflict, wanting to stay in a place of conflict, not wanting to get beyond it. This is really coming in strong in relation to Queen of Clubs energy, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This can be also a lot of competitiveness in terms of, sexuality, like getting the hookup. It can be competitiveness in business too. It can be a bit ruthless. It can be cutthroat. It can be the mistress. It can be the sugar baby, it can be the sugar mama. Okay. Pick what side you're on, but it's about getting what you want, not really caring about the ethics of it, willing to kind of move out of the shadow clearly. The way that you've been moving has been causing some problems. It's been causing some conflict in your life. The way that you have been moving, you've been moving in a more competitive way. You're starting to realize where competition gets you. Competition doesn't get you anywhere. You're realizing that you were really in competition with yourself. in competition with yourself and your ideas about who you were, that you would even be in competition with another person. This coming to light, the way it speaks of your own insecurity, what needs to be healed, what needs to be addressed there, the way you betrayed yourself with this bullshit, with the 5 of spades coming up in the shadow, the way that this has blocked your forward progression with the 2 of spades coming up in the shadow, okay? I also feel like a lot of you have been wanting to move forward towards something really passionately, but you feel blocked. You feel like if I move forward toward this thing, it's going to cause problems. If I move forward toward this thing, there's going to be drama. If I move forward toward this thing, people are going to be pissed off at me. It's going to cause a whole bunch of issues. And then there's also this need about how can you just ignore what you're in alignment with, though, with the 4 of clubs here. It's so clearly in alignment with you. And you're denying yourself this thing. You're meant to step into it, but you're blocking it. You're not stepping up to it because you feel inadequate about it. Yeah, look at this. This is coming up strongly too for masculine air, okay? Masculine air with the King of Spades here. That would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You're like, fuck no, I don't want to discover, learn, and play. I'm out. This is actually you cutting something off. This is maybe cutting something off a bit severely. This is maybe using really harsh words, leaving nobody in any doubt about how you feel about something. You're like, hell no, I have the opinion I have, and I'm not budging on this. I'm standing on this. You do not get to pass. You do not pass here with the 7 of clubs, okay? In reverse, coming up in the shadow. It's like, there will be no reversal in my position in this situation. I'm standing firm. This could be in relation to a King of Diamonds, okay? Earth sign energy, masculine, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Or you could be dealing with somebody that has strong air and earth in their chart. This is also about being ruthless in business as well, okay? This is about being ruthless in business. Maybe you got somebody who's a competitor. Maybe somebody's hitting a little below the belt. Maybe somebody is trying to get away with something shady. You're not going to let them get away with something shady. Some of you women out there may be stepping more into your like assertive masculine energy. You may be really trying to make moves, you know, in business. You're bumping up against the good old boys, you know. The guys don't like to see you progressing like that. You're riling them up a little bit, you know. We might also have a little friendly competition here too. It may come off that it looks like it's a little like shady, but maybe it's like beef orchestrated for promotional purposes, you know. I can see that too, like kind of taking a different approach, you know, with what you're putting out there. It draws attention. It's kind of like it's a little bit of like an inside joke, you know. Yeah, I see in that case it leads both parties to happiness. It leads both parties to a place of fulfillment, you know, with the 10 of hearts coming up in the light. They get what they want with the King of Hearts here. In some cases, this is in matters of love, you know. And this is 2 kings fighting off. Well, we got 3 actually in the mix here. This is somebody on their way to becoming like truly becoming an emperor. I believe this is role-playing energy here, all right? I believe this is role-playing energy here. I think there might have been this real like, I'll do anything I need to do to get what I want with the King of Spades to the King of Diamonds energy facing off. It's like anything to see what I want to manifest. It's very much like cutthroat, like Emperor in reverse energy, okay? But with the King of Hearts here coming up in the light, this is the role you need to try on your size this week. You need to try out being the King of Hearts. That's your challenge, masculines. For those of you who've really been in your masculine energy, that's your challenge. You need to role play the King of Hearts this week. This is what brings you some kind of new beginning in love, all right, with the Ace of Hearts. It helps you move out of this place where you keep screwing yourself, you know? You keep screwing yourself. You want things to come together and you keep creating more like dissension. This person doesn't trust you, I feel like. masculines, whoever you're stepping to is not trusting you. And if you're a chick and you're heading towards some dude, your approach is all off. It's coming off too aggressive, and that's not working. It's not working. It's not getting you where you want to go. Look at this, 3 of clubs. Look at the ships are sailing the other way, coming up in the shadow. So this is really about role playing this, switching this energy around by not being so assertive, not being so aggressive, coming more into that softer place, creating a softer space, because you can't come together in a soft space if you're totally guarded in matters of the heart. It makes the energy move away from you with the 6 of spades coming up in the shadow. And it's a shame, because this person, whoever you're wanting to come towards, this person is a soul connection here with the 6 of hearts. But you're both like mirroring this like fear to each other. You're not in that heart space, you're in your spades. And you're thinking about what you can gain instead of coming into that place of like really dropping into the softness of your heart. All right, with the 2 of hearts here. All right, this 2 of hearts is bent, all right, but it's coming up in the light. I mean, this is illuminating what's keeping you apart. I can't make it up. Look at this. Here's Queen of Spades coming up in the shadow. Feminine, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, this is also you all being in this place where it's like you're not willing, to soften. This has been coming up around air sign collective. Air, you need to like warm up your communication a little bit. Stop being so sharp with your words, start using your words in a different way, because we do have 2 people here that are supposed to come together, but they're at odds because they can't communicate. It's coming in both the masculine and feminine. And when we're looking at spades, that's all about, swords type of energy. It's communication. But with spades, it's like the things you say, they have a certain kind of punctuation right now, right? So, don't hold things in so long that they become pressurized with the 10 of clubs. And maybe you are angry, and maybe there is some anger you need to speak to. Maybe you need to not hold it in. Maybe you need to learn to vent it instead of holding it inside where it burdens you to the point that when you do finally communicate, you're like popping off and people are getting pissed off, right? You're coming off a little too defensive. You got to let some people come towards you to, also express what they need to express with the 7 of clubs here. There's just no need to have this sort of like guard up or intractable position. I do feel like it's very necessary for people to get real. And that when it comes to defending what's real, that's really what's important. I think there needs to be certain lines drawn as far as, what's acceptable. If it's going to step to you, it's got to step to you in a respectful way. If you're going to open up communication, it needs to be clear communication. It needs to be communication where people get real. There's no hiding. There's no covering things up. There's no pretense. There's no game playing. It's just up front. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe everybody's been playing a role. Maybe everybody's been in this place role playing. Now maybe it's time to like step into the role playing of how would you move if you were being healthy? How would you move if you were actually gleaning the wisdom of the lessons you've been through, okay? Well, if you move that way, okay, you can recover a lost opportunity with the 3 of clubs in reverse coming up in the light. This thing may have gone for a rough ride. It may have gone off the beaten path. There may have been some detours, but this thing can turn back around. Let's go ahead and do a cut of the deck energy here and see what we've got. This message feels pretty complete to me. We got shadow on one side. Yep, king. Oh, well, we got some people. Some people are willing to fight for something. That's what I see. They're willing to fight for the dream. We do have fire sign energy. Look, there's another true pair because we had the Queen of Clubs in the shadow come up. We got the King of Clubs coming up in the shadow as well. Okay, so this is that competitiveness, this 9 of Clubs, like, I'm going to fight for it. You know, nobody's gonna take this from me. I've been through too much shit to not get this now, you know? You gotta be aware of this though, because you don't need to fight for what's already yours. Lighten up, man.